Small ambulance! 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, Walter. You survived malaria. You can survive this!
Battletoads 2020 is a multi-genre beat-em-up, an homage to games in the 80s and 90s. Don't think this is a multi-genre in the 2020 sense. The beat-em-up portion of it is more developed and complicated, kind of in line with other games like Streets of Rage 4, but the side games are more like those games in the 80s and the 90s. You have 2D platforming, the 2D bike scene, the back view bike obstacle course thing, more in line with that sort of thing. It is on Game Pass on both the Xbox One console and PC, and is only available on those two platforms.
Stay vigilant.
This is the third game in the series. The last one came out way back in 1994 on platforms like the Super NES, and they try to tie that in. They've been in this virtual reality underground bunker for the last 26 years. They break out and then are looking for the Dark Queen to get revenge, where they get the revelation that they're fighting a new enemy, the alien Topians. So with this one, they've switched for the age demographic. It's an E10 game, and you can tell that with the Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic, the type of humor that they're going for. It's a little edgy, but it's not too kiddie, and it doesn't quite fit into the teen bracket. Also, the Dark Queen is the most obvious difference, and they even joke about it in the cutscenes, that she's not this sexy queen anymore. She's more like just some common girl that would fit in any type of cartoon that you would see nowadays. But it works fine, and it makes sense since they're doing local co-op, and there is no online co-op. They're trying to fit in there, and it's the same type of game though, with the difficulty, but you just have more options to make it easier or harder. The meat of the game is still the beat 'em up portion, and compared to other games, there's a lot that are available now on Game Pass, like Streets of Rage 4, Mother Russia Bleeds. There's enough complexity here to keep you engaged. You have your attack, you have your special move, and then you have the special move that changes depending on the attacks that you did before it. Also, you can dodge, you can eat flies. They have all these different buttons, the grabs, and if you're playing by yourself, you can switch between the three toads. So this has been good, and it's more fun the more people that you have playing. I did one player, and then I did some two player, and it was a lot more fun having the second player, and even though I can still switch between the two characters. To cater this to everybody, you have the three difficulties that allow invincibility. If you want to just go through for the story, which now it's heavy-handedly in there, you have the cartoon segments where it does feel like a cartoon, because you know those cutscenes come up after you finish each level. So a good variety here. I checked them all out, and they're much more damage spongy when you get to Battletoad mode. The other genres make a return, like with the past games. Here's the obstacle course with the back view. You also have the side view with this too. And you can play this, it's much more forgiving. I played the first two games way back, and oh my god. It's not like that now. I didn't play it on the hard mode, which it could have been much more difficult, but with controls nowadays, it's easier to move around. That was kind of the issue with the NES controller, a little bit with the Super NES controller. You have some of these within the beat 'em up portion. There's one where you have to connect the electricity to open a door. There's another one where you're hacking. That one's really hard, but they give you the option now to skip it if you want on the easier difficulty. So it is fun as far as gameplay. The main issue I see though is if you're playing by yourself. It's more the merrier. When you're playing by yourself, it is just less fun. Even the beat 'em up portion, where you have the depth with the combos a little bit, you're just that one guy fighting in one area. When you have more people, then guys are flying around, you can jump to the background, the foreground, different things are going on. More that type of appeal, and this is even more so when you're playing like the bike portions of the game. It's more fun when like one guy gets whacked and the rest keep going, the chaos of it. Which brings us to multiplayer, and the biggest problem with the game is that it is local co-op only. There is drop in, drop out, but you're limited to people that are with you. So the appeal is going to be a lot less for a lot more people. Exception would be is if you're playing this on PC, you can play it more easily through Parsec. And I see this game working well through doing it that way. So overall impressions with the game, playing it just a half a dozen hours. I got about 2/3 into it. If you're playing by yourself, I wouldn't bother unless you're a big fan. I was a fan back in the day, so it was worth it for that. Playing with somebody else, it's worth checking out on Game Pass because you get those chaotic moments more, and then especially with 3, same thing. And it would be only with 3 people though that I would consider buying this, and knowing that you had a group that you would be playing with, because then it would be a lot more fun. And here's just an example of like one of the party modes. You're just matching what it is by like a press of a button, more that kind of a thing. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I played this on console. I checked it out on PC too, but mainly console. No issues or anything like that. Otherwise, seemed okay. If you liked this video, please give a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. Check out the links below for Game Pass if you are picking it up there. And I will see you next time.